So, a bit of a personal aside, but I have finals exams these next couple of weeks, so don't expect too much editing or too much of a heavy review for these next couple episodes. I'm just trying to finish it as soon as I can so I can get back to studying. Sorry about that. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, episode 2 of the Pocket Monsters anime titled On Lugia They Go, Ash and Go just dropped, and this is the episode where Ash and Go meet. They meet in a very interesting way. How? Well, let's find out. Just like his first journey, we start the episode with Ash throwing his ringing alarm clock like a Pokeball across the room and breaking it. This time, though, he has Pikachu who tries to wake him up with Thunderbolt, but even though, Ash still goes right back to sleep. However, just like the first episode, his mom comes to his room to wake him up and let him know that he's going to be late if he doesn't hurry to Professor Oak. He wakes up and starts hurrying out. I like this nice throwback to the first episode, with some changes of course. We got to see in the room all of his trophies and awards. You could see his Alola title. You can also see some of Professor Kakui's titles on the desk, presumably from winning the exhibition match. I like that nice detail. He goes to Oak, and it turns out that they're heading to Vermilion City to go to the opening of a new research facility, but it turns out it's not even going to be just Ash and Professor Oak. Even Ash's mom is coming with them. So they drive to Vermilion, and during the ride, Oak asks Ash if he's still working towards becoming a Pokemon Master, and he says that he is, along with Pikachu. They then arrive at the research facility, and while Ash's mom heads out to do some shopping, Oak goes to park his car, and there's a funny scene here where Ash is going up to the research lab. He sees a Yamper, which is the first time he sees a Yamper, and Ash crawls towards it to try to get close to it to grab it, and eventually when he does picks it up like a dog, he gets hit with a spark to the face. That's hilarious. Then Koharu comes from school and sees Ash laying on the floor with the Yamper in front of him and just kind of scoots away. A great introduction between the two. So Ash and Oak eventually go to the room where Professor introduces themselves and talks a bit about the Pokemon world in general. His name is Professor Sakuragi, and while he's doing that, we see Koharu, his daughter, on the floor above him reading a book when she looks out of the window waiting for Go so she can give him his school stuff, when she gets a message from him saying that he's about to have a fateful encounter. Go's outside with a book, laptop, and his Rotom phone counting down for something to happen. As you'd expect, when it hits 0, nothing happens. Instead, a Psyduck shows up. But no, it's a double swerve, because then we see in the professor's research lab that something is happening. And when the professor explains that it might be a super rare Pokemon, Ash and the rest of the people in the lab head out to see what it might be. Ash is trying to get there, but just like in the game, there's a roadblock of a Snorlax. That was also another nice touch. There are black clouds near Vermilion docks, and out comes Lugia. And as the Lugia comes out, a raid battle starts taking place between it and a bunch of trainers. It easily beats almost all of them. By the way, the animation for this battle is spectacular, specifically when Lugia is battling the adult trainers. You even see a Corviknight in battle, and that's pretty cool. Then it shows up in front of Ash and Pikachu, who battle it, but just like everyone else, they get beat pretty easily. I will say that the Thunderbolt that Pikachu uses here might be the best Thunderbolt that we've ever seen. It just looks completely awesome. And then after failing to beat it, both Ash and Go are going after it on foot and jump towards it as it's in the air and grab onto it. This is when Ash and Go first see each other. Once they're on top of Lugia, Go starts to record things about Lugia. Then we see Lugia fly in the air, flying next to some Fearow in a pack, which, once again, nice throwback to the first episode of the anime. Then it flies in the water, and we get this great visual of water Pokemon, as well as just jumping in the water in general. Then finally Lugia flies out of the water and close to land and in a flower field, and eventually Lugia dumps them from its back and leaves. Also forgot to mention that once they get out of the water, that's when Ash and Go introduce themselves to each other and decide to become friends. After they land in the field, they discuss a bit about Pokemon and how vast the world is before realizing that they have no idea where that is, which is pretty funny because this is a trope and happens in almost every movie with flying creatures. The main character will go on like a flying journey with the creatures, and then they just cut to the aftermath, but in reality, you might not have a clue where the creature landed you, so well done playing on that trope. They eventually do make it back to the research lab, and we get a bit of character development from Koharu, finally, when Ash asks her if Professor Sakuragi is her dad, and Yamper barks at Ash for asking that. Now we know that for Koharu, that's a pretty touchy subject. In the lab, Go shows the professor the footage he captured, and Ash talks about how he felt a spark with Lugia and how he heard Lugia say, "Let's go," when they're about to go underwater. Professor Sakuragi is impressed with the both of them and offers them to be research fellows for the laboratory. They both accept, and when Ash's mom says that it might be too difficult to commute from Pallet to Vermilion every day, Sakuragi offers them a dorm in the laboratory for the both of them to sleep on. So, it's settled. Ash's mom also tells Mr. Mime to stay with Ash and look after him. The episode ends with Professor Sakuragi giving Go a choice of Pokemon from the Kanto starter, but Go decides he's not going to take any of them and says that he'll capture Mew as his first Pokemon. Psst. Yeah, good luck with that, buddy. Overall, though, it's a pretty good episode. Much better than the first episode. I don't really have much to complain about since this is really just an introduction episode. Heck, it even gives the World of Pokemon speech. The animation was fantastic for this episode, both for the battle stuff and just the animation for the environment. The only thing, and this isn't really a complaint, but just something that it's going to take me a while to get used to, is the music. Don't get me wrong, there's some good Pokemon music here, like during the raid battle, it used a remix of the Sword and Shield trainer battle, but during epic moments or just non-action moments in general, it sounds more like My Hero Academia than it does Pokemon, and that's mainly due to me being used to Shinji Miyazaki's sound for so long. Similar to how I got used to Sumimoto's score for Dragon Ball though, eventually I will get used to Hayashi's sound in Pokemon. If you haven't seen this episode yet, I highly recommend it. The next episode seems like it's going to focus on Ash and Go's first job as research fellows. Not only that, but Team Rocket's making their introduction next episode, and it seems like they're going to be your typical Ash and his companion bickering and then becoming closer type episode. Doesn't look that interesting, but regardless, I'm still looking forward to it. Anyways, sorry for this episode not being as in-depth or edited. Again, I have to get back to studying for my exam, so I don't have as much time to edit or record. With that being said, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, like, share, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on this episode. Did you like it? Did you not? Let me know. You can also follow me on Twitter at TheRealPdGaming, and that's it. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.